get a free week or something. But I would think long and hard about who I did business with when faced with this kind of situation.
Oh, absolutely. When I get back to Los Angeles, Lorna, Nolan Bushnell, who is the creator of Atari, wants to come on the program, and we're going to have some fun with that. I remember the very first video game, Pong. Remember that?
Yeah, and I couldn't play that properly, and you can imagine where I am with modern video games now.
Let's go to Jen in Sacramento, California. You're on with Lauren Weinstein. Hi, Jen.
Hi there, George. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
I have a pretty bad horror story for you.
Okay.
My wonderful Toshiba laptop was stolen literally right out of my hands. I didn't know it was being stolen. It was under the guise of this guy was going to repair some slight damage that I had caused to it and bring it back to me the following workday. Well, he was a uniformed security guard at the Sacramento Public Library. I handed him the case with my computer in it, and unbeknown to me, there was also a small portfolio of my artwork. I'm a professional artist. I'm a graphic designer, illustrator, and I do a lot of legal research. So all of this stuff was on there, along with a lot of personal information, and I didn't know he was stealing it. I thought he was going to fix it and bring it back.
Oh.
Well, I have never seen the Toshiba again, and he lied to me and to all of the librarians about it having been burned up in a 3-house fire up in the foothills here in Sacramento. And there was no fire. After about 6 months, I started doing some fairly extensive research about this guy, and A, there was no fire. Nobody in any of the foothills had a fire like that. And B, he was known by the librarians to have been well, I guess you'd call it a grifter. He'd borrow money and say, well, I'll pay you back, and then he never paid them back. He also got some equipment from another library user, but mine was devastating because all my artwork was there, original artwork. His girlfriend actually stole one of the photographs out of my...
What a couple.
I mean, I think
Unbelievable.
Yeah. And then they skipped town a few weeks later.
The moral of this story, I think, is that, security guards of any stripe don't make the best, and most trustworthy computer repairmen. I mean, if you have a computer problem, I mean, I would, even though it's going to cost money, I would generally urge going to, a real repair place.
Yeah, go to a reputable computer
rather than anybody who says, yeah, I'll take care of that for you. I'll be seeing you. It's just not a good bet.
What does the guy want? What do you think his motive was, Lauren? Did he just want the computer?
Yeah, usually they just sell them. They just, they take them, they wipe them out, and they sell them. Sometimes they want to steal information off of them, for identity fraud and stuff. But more often than not, it's just a commodity that they just put on the market and sell off as quickly as they can.
Amazing. Houston, Texas, we go. Hey, Brian, you're up.
Hi, George.
Hello. Yep.
Yeah, you got me?
Gotcha.
Okay, I have a cell phone story.
Okay.
It's a real quick one. Me and my brother and my sister-in-law are sitting around talking about politics and religion and stuff like that. And it seemed like whenever we mentioned the name of the president, anything about nuclear weaponry or anything like that, my phone was sitting right there on the coffee table, and it would light up like it's trying to ping with the towers or whatever. And it's an open face cell phone, and the speaker is right there in the open, and we think that it was actually listening in on our conversation. And so the only way I could get it to stop was to turn the thing off and go put it in my room, and we continued our discussion. But
is that possible, Lauren? Has that happened?
Well, let me put it. Well, it might have just been a defective Nokia phone or something. But let me tell you a little secret about cell phone monitoring and about spying on communications. If you're listening, assuming somebody's, as they say, is interesting enough to be bothering to listen to in the first place, the last thing you want to do is light things up or make clicks on the line or little buzzes or hums or something like that. one of the surest ways to that people would joke that, well, all of a sudden my line is cleaner than it's ever been before, or maybe somebody's listening to me now. In other words, you don't do things to warn your target that they're being monitored. So almost certainly in cases like this, you're just dealing with defective equipment, which is very, very common. And I've had cell phones that do the same thing.
If you're being monitored, are there live ears on the other side listening in, or is everything going to a computer and being taped? What's happening?
Yeah, it depends. It depends on the situation. There's high-value monitoring situations where there are live people listening. The broader approach to information surveillance and communication surveillance is just sort of the vacuum cleaner technique, where you just gather as much as you can, and maybe you run it through computerized systems later to pick out points of interest. So it just depends on the situation. And in fact, one of the big problems in intelligence right now is that they can gather a lot more information than they can ever realistically process. So even if there's nuggets that they might be interested in buried amongst all the masses of communications, they might never actually be found or acted upon.
Let's go to John. He's in Los Angeles. He's on our Skype line. Hi, John. John? Well, he's not there now.
For John.
He's been taken away. Daryl in Chatsworth, Georgia. Hi, Daryl. Go ahead.
Hello. I'm on a cell phone. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, sure can.
Well, I'm a uniformed security guard, but I have nothing to do with the previous callers. So I just wanted to get that out of the way.
Give back the laptop, right.
Now, I had a couple of real quick comments. The first was Sony has got a history of muddling up things online with several, if you know what they are, MMO games. They have got a lot of people that dislike them for what they've done to a few of those, and they also had security problems. I won't mention the names of them. But also, I received several of those Nigerian scam emails in the past, and one time I got one that looked like it was from the FBI. And
that's actually a common one. There are 419 scams that go out telling you that this is part of a project to fight 419 scams or for refunds associated with 419 scams, but they're actually 419. It's very meta, very cyclic as it goes, back and forth, a layer upon layer upon layer of scam.
Well, this one seemed kind of insidious because basically they said that I had received a transfer of money from outside the country. And they wanted to verify my information because I could, potentially be looking at some jail time. And I was like, no way. And I looked at the header, and I was like, okay, Nigeria or something like that? No, I don't think so. Or it was Russia, maybe.
Yeah, what they'll do is that's the scare approach. What they'll do is say, we understand that you have received $50 million from an illegal source in Nigeria. We need to confirm that you actually are not the person we think you are, because if you are that person, you'll be spending the rest of your life in a small cell somewhere. The bottom line is they still want the information, and the FBI just does not gather information that way through email.
Right. Well, I'd like everybody to know that if you report it to the FBI, they already know about it, because I did. I thought about it, and I was like, oh, do I really want to call them? Maybe I'll do them some good. Called them, and they, laughed at me and said, yeah, we're aware of that. Thanks anyway, though.
Yeah, so they go out by the millions.
Maggie in Richmond, Virginia. Hi, Maggie. You're on.
Hi. How are you?
Okay.
Thank God you're on tonight. I have a problem, and I called AOL, and they didn't understand it. I was, on the computer reading the main page of AOL, the main page, and all of a sudden, right on the top, somebody's writing me messages. I don't know how this could happen. And I wrote them down so I could call AOL. And one message, and it kept going quickly. I don't know how they could type that fast. One would say, having a good day, Margaret. Next one, hey there, Margaret. Good to see you, Margaret. Good evening, Margaret. Hey, Margaret, how's your day? Have a good day, Margaret. The day is not yet done. And then when it said it's the downhill stretch, that's when I got off. And then another thing that happened to me is I went to send one email, and I keep getting this thing, you have other emails. I wasn't sending anything. It's one email. What other emails are they talking about?
May I make a recommendation? I can't address, these specific incidents, of course, because I don't have enough information. But in my personal opinion, there's really no good reason for anybody to still be using AOL for email or for much of anything else. I mean, at one time they were the They were the pinnacle in terms of certain aspects of this and in terms of getting connected with the Internet and such. But time has passed them by. I really don't think that they're a good choice anymore as an Internet service provider or as an email provider, and I would urge looking elsewhere. There's lots of free alternatives.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Lauren. It's probably a vital idea. Red is in Denver, Colorado, west of the Rockies. Hey, Red, go ahead.
Hey, can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, I want to appreciate for the Coast-to-Coast company. I've received a lot of information off this radio show, and you guys are the number one on my list. My question is, I was on the computer the other day, and a virus came in, and I was wondering that now when these viruses come into to these people's computer, do they automatically eradicate all our personal information? And what is the benefit once they get into the software of our computer systems?
Well, the technical answer is it depends. There's so many different kinds of viruses. They can do something as innocuous as draw a funny face on the screen and laugh at you, or they can steal your banking information and go out and drain your accounts, or they can, and this one is real common, they can commandeer your computer in the background and turn it into what's called part of a botnet, and use it to send out spam and things like that without your even being aware of it. Or they can do things like download child pornography and make it look like you're watching child porn.
My God.
That's one of the real scary ones. And there are people that have gotten entangled with that through viruses and other things too. So it covers the whole gamut from annoyances to destruction of data to stealing of information to possibly getting you locked up.
Lauren, are we too technologically advanced?
Oh, no, I don't think so. I think we have advanced faster in technology than we have put resources in to deal with the legal side and the social side and the other aspects that need to catch up. But that doesn't mean there's too much technology. It means we have not put enough effort into those other aspects of society that need to work in parallel with technology. That's the way I look at it.
How can just about anybody fight this problem, this dilemma of hacking, losing privacy? What do? You need a computer.
Right. Really, all you can do fundamentally is be aware. I mean, that sounds trite. It sounds simple. But as you're going through a lot of email and you're visiting lots and lots of different sites, it's very easy to just kind of go plunk, 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 and not really even think about what you're clicking on and what you're doing. And sometimes if you see something that looks a little bit suspicious, odds are it probably is something you at least want to think about twice or three times before you proceed. So a little bit of caution, a little bit of extra thinking about what you're doing can go a long way. It's not perfect, but it can sure help.
Thank you, Lauren, so much. Lauren Weinstein. We'll be back in a moment as Hank Wesselman joins us as we talk about the bowl of light, ancestral wisdom from a Hawaiian shaman.